Hey everyone, Johnny Platten here for B-Movie News website. Our special guest today, the great Peter Davison. Thanks for your time, Peter. Just got a few questions. I've personally been a big fan of you and Doctor Who for over the years, and would love to ask you a few things and get your thoughts on them.
Okay.
Thank you. Just from what I've seen of Doctor Who, it looks as though you've been a fan over the years growing up, and is that the case? And if it was, how did you get the role?
Well, first of all, I watched Doctor Who from the first episode really, which went out in 1963, so I watched it fairly avidly through the first two Doctors, William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton, then I kind of faded off a bit. I didn't watch so much of John Pertwee or Tom Baker, simply because you get to the age where you're out doing other things. If you know what I mean. Then I knew the producer of Doctor Who, and he just rang me up one night to tell me that Tom Baker was leaving it, and how would I feel about being the next Doctor.
Oh wow!
So it was simple as that, really. And it took me a couple of days to get used to the idea before I said yes, but I didn't have to go through the audition process, which was quite nice, actually.
That's great, and sort of eliminates my next question. But moving on from that, I might ask, following Tom Baker, and you being the youngest man at that time to play the Doctor, was that intimidating, or did you find that particularly hard? Or
I didn't worry necessarily about following Tom Baker, because to me, William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton were my Doctors. And the idea of a different actor playing the Doctor was well established. It was a bit different when I went to America to do the first couple of conventions, because they'd really only seen Tom Baker, and they were unprepared for someone else, taking over the role. Although they did know me from All Creatures Great and Small, so that they knew me from another part, so that sort of mitigated that. No, I wasn't. But the younger thing was a bit of a problem, because you're used to then older Doctors, and now looking from the viewpoint of today, I don't seem as out of place as I seemed when I did it. Because now we've established that Doctors are younger.
Of course, yeah.
But at the time, I did feel a bit. That was part of the reason it took me a couple of days to accept the part, because I felt that. It was just a big change.
Yeah, thanks. I guess you've touched on it already. My next question again was, I read somewhere that you felt you could play a better Doctor today than you did back then, and now that's just quoting something I read.
Yeah, I don't think I exactly said that. I mean, I said I'd probably have done it differently.
Yeah.
Because, that's just the way it is. And so in many ways, yeah, I mean, I think I could probably do it better now, but it was... I was very glad in the end to have done it and to play that part. And it had a kind of certain innocent, naive quality to looking back at it, which I think worked quite well. But I do these Big Finish audios as well, and my Doctor has kind of evolved over the years, inevitably. But I don't know. I don't think I go back and redo it. Actually, if I had the chance.
You had an opportunity a couple of years ago to reprise your role alongside David Tennant.
Yeah.
For a short time there. How was that? Did you do you think it increased your fan base after that? Did more people know you as the Doctor?
I don't think more people know me. I think more people recognise me as the Doctor. I had this weird thing that I've got two young boys who are now 7 and 9, and. Obviously I was Doctor Who, and when the series came back and the new series went out, when it finished, a lot of the young kids would then switch over to one of the cable channels and see me as the Doctor. Of course, not realising really that was 1983, and so when I'd be pointed out to them in the playground. he's the Fifth Doctor. They just look baffled as to why I looked like I did. But after I did Time Crash, I noticed that I was recognised by the younger people as the Doctor, which was the big difference, I think. So it wasn't exactly that my fan base got bigger. It was just that people would go, "Oh yeah, you're the Fifth Doctor." So I got recognised in the playground, which was quite nice, actually.
Yeah. And your daughter, talking about kids, your daughter played the Doctor's daughter.
That's right, yeah.
One of the new series. So what was it like seeing your doctor or your daughter play your daughter?
Well, it was it was a perfect thing, really. What happened was she went up for a part in an earlier story in that same season, and she was offered the part, and she accepted it. And then they rang back, I think, the next day and said, "Look, if you just hang on for a couple more months, we've got a story that would be even more perfect for you." And so she did, and of course that story was the Doctor's daughter, which fitted in perfectly. She was the Doctor's daughter. She was playing the Doctor's daughter. So from their point of view, it was a kind of neat trick.
It was. Yeah. I was in my lounge room as a child, and my uncle walked in one day, and I was watching Doctor Who, and my uncle asked me, "What's the vet doing on the show?" And of course, I didn't really know what he meant at the time, and he was a bit unclear. And I guess the point is that many people know you, ironically, as a vet or a doctor.
Yes.
And,
that's right.
I guess there's many other roles you've done, or
I've done many other roles, a lot since, fortunately, since Doctor Who. So it worked out very well. I left, I think, in 1984, and then I moved on to many other things. But I was known. You're quite right. I was known before that. In fact, when I got the role as Doctor Who, they one of the TV programs in Britain got a team of young kids on. A kind of kids program, and to give me advice as to how I should play the part. They clearly thought I needed it. Anyway, and one of the suggestions, and the only one I took note of, was that one little boy said, "I think you should play the part like Tristan, but brave." And that really I took as my blueprint into the series. It was quite a helpful thing to have said.
That's great.